By the numbers, 5 foods to stockpile now. Hey everybody, this is Mike with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Kind of starting this new series, By the Numbers, talking about things you should be doing now. Foods, a bunch of different topics. We're going to cover what I feel are some good ideas for you to prepare, to get you better prepared. So, why these foods to stockpile now? Why stockpile foods at all? Well, you're here, so you know what prepping is. Of course. You've seen inflation, shortages, transportation issues, drought. A lot of things going on, right? There's fewer imports of a lot of stuff coming from other nations now. Farmers getting paid not to grow. Farmers getting paid to plow fields under. Ranches being bought and not ranched. Part of the meatless agenda. A lot of other things coming down. External conflict, and decreasing faith in the US dollar, leading to more issues. So, these 5 foods, there's a lot more than just 5, of course. These are 5 foods that I feel will be very good, very advantageous to stockpile now, due to current events, due to what's going on around the world, due to where we are, and what we've seen lately, and what I foresee, and a lot of people foresee, in the near future. So the first one I mentioned already, meatless society. The push for it. The push for more soy products, to produce more soy boys so that men aren't men and they can't stand up to the powers that be. Well, we don't want that. If you choose to eat soy, go for it. It's free will. You can do whatever you want. I, however, want meat. And I get it, there's vegetarians, there's vegans out there, do whatever you want. It's your deal. Free will exists for a reason. But meat will becoming increasingly more in short supply. We've heard about swine flu, we've heard about the bird flu, we've heard about mad cow disease. I mean, you name it. They're always coming up with something, some reason to cull, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of animals. And the ranch is being bought up and not ranched just because. So meat, canned meat, and freeze-dried meat are the 2 top ones for long-term food storage. But there's also things like beef jerky. Actually, I'll show you 2 different kinds. There's turkey jerky. You can do that if you like, or beef jerky. Those aren't really in our preps as far as like our food storage. This is our working pantry. Those are things we take in the vehicle with us when we're going somewhere. Throw together a snack bag, for the kids and for us to eat out of. And that's a good idea. Not really topic of this video, but it's a good idea to throw a snack bag together whenever you leave so you're not spending extra money out there on things, on food, on drinks. Fill up some water bottles. Reuse your water bottles. Make sure you clean them well. Refill them up. And, I guess I can say that because I have really good well water. You may not want to fill it up if you're on city water. I don't know what your situation is. But snack bags are a good idea to take with your family. And before I forget, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Comment below. Share the videos. Do anything you can if you feel like it to help us out with the algorithm. It's a constant battle. And it's very frustrating sometimes. I've been going through some very tough times lately with motivation and creativity and stuff like that. So I'm doing my best. I got to stick in there. I got to keep plugging away, just like you guys do with prepping. Keep plugging away because I got to prep. I got to take care of the garden. I got to do this, prepare for this content, film the videos, upload the videos, stuff like that. My rural internet, it takes anywhere from 8 to 16 hours to upload a 12 to 15 minute video. You may wonder why all my videos are about that length. Well, if you make them under 10 minutes, then they don't really get fully picked up by the algorithm. And if they're longer than, say, 15 minutes, it'll take even longer for me to upload it. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. Number 2, and these aren't necessarily in order, they're kind of in order, but grains. Wheat, corn, barley, oats, quinoa, rice, those kind of things. Dried goods. Why? Because, have you heard about wheat lately? Have you heard about Ukraine, Russia, China, India not exporting grains? What about Brazil and other nations? So a lot of nations out there that are either exporting less or not exporting at all to hold on to them for themselves because they see what's coming. They see what's coming. They're intelligent people. So yes, very good. They store long term, store them properly, bucket, mylar bag, oxygen absorbers, etc. You don't necessarily have to do that, but that's probably the best way to long term store grains. Grains are very important. I mean, it's, been pretty much wheat's been the staff of life for, a long time. So anyway, okay, let's move on to number 3, beans. Beans, very important part, and legumes. So I'm going to talk about beans and legumes. You got a lot of different beans. You got pinto beans, black beans, kidney beans, navy beans, fava beans. You got peas, lentils, black-eyed peas, and a lot more. Those are just some examples. And they're dried, just like, rice, corn, wheat, stuff like that. So, same kind of thing. Mylar bag in a bucket, oxygen absorbers, etc. for proper storage. And there are other ways to properly store it, like I said. Anyway, beans are important because they are calorically dense. They have a good amount of protein in them. A lot of people talk about the proteins and beans and rice. And yes, they say that you have to have beans and rice together to make a complete protein. That's not true. They are both complete proteins by themselves. They're just not, they don't have all of the parts of the protein. I forget the exact terminology. But yes, together they hit all the wickets. So that's a good thing to have together, beans and rice. That's why beans and rice is a staple all around the world. Lots of peoples survive off of beans and rice. That's why I'm not talking about this in this video necessarily, but spices and flavorings and stuff like that to make it so you're not bored and so your morale doesn't suffer from eating the same thing over and over and over and over. That's also variety in your food storage is important. All right, so let's go on to pastas. Let me check the time. I gotta check the time. Okay, I always do that. I put my white background up there on the numbers where my time numbers are. Like I said, and I pay attention to time because of my internet and etc. stuff like that. So I have to pay attention to that. Next one I put down for pastas because my family loves pasta. My favorite food on earth is fettuccine with pesto. Oh my gosh, I love pesto. Pesto is awesome. But you can get fettuccine, you can get spaghetti, you can get rigatoni, you can get elbow macaroni, you can get so many different kinds of things, so many different kinds of pastas, whatever floats your boat, whatever you like. It's dried, it lasts a long time. You can also do the same thing as rice and beans. You can put it in a bucket, in a Mylar bag, oxygen absorbers, and store it for long term. Or you can dry can it. There's a lot of different things you can do to store them. But by themselves, the way they're packaged, normally they'll last fairly decent amount of time. This is where rotation comes through. This is where a working pantry like this comes into play. Yeah, like pastas right here. There's some pasta. That's mac and cheese because, that's the cheap kind. But we keep that on hand also because the kids like it and it's not too difficult. It's easy. Oh, here's a better example. Elbow macaroni. Yep. Lots of that as well as lots of other kinds of pasta is important. And it's easy to throw something into it to make a meal out of it. You can throw some meat in there, throw some cheese, throw some cream of chicken soup, whatever. This is one of the good ones. I like this. Broccoli cheese soup, some elbow macaroni. It's kind of like mac and cheese, just with the broccoli. Throw some ground beef in there or something like that. Just make... that's the way I cook. I just kind of throw things together that I think taste good. And they usually, maybe 95%, 98% of the time, they are pretty good. They turn out really well. So anyway, number 5, fats and oils. Very important part of your diet. That whole low fat, no fat BS, no, that's not healthy for you. All those chemicals, all those additives, all that crap, no, get it out of your diet. Healthy, natural, whole foods as God intended them. Fat is not a bad word. fat. Your body needs fats. Fats are very important. So fats and oils I put in here. You got ghee, which is clarified butter. It lasts a lot longer than butter, and it's a really good thing for preppers to store. You got olive oil, avocado oil, vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, coconut oil, sesame oil, and then you got lard. And there's probably many more out there that I didn't even talk about, but we predominantly use olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. Because avocado oil, we just use pretty much, that's what we cook with. I use the, olive oil, olive oil is what we cook with. We do almost all of our cooking with olive oil. I use avocado oil when I'm cooking something really high temperature, like searing a steak or stir fry or something like that. Avocado oil is better for high temp than olive oil. But olive oil is really good. We use a lot of it. And coconut oil also, longer shelf life, and it's good to cook with. It's good to just take. People, I don't know if you've heard this thing, bulletproof coffee. It's like you have coffee and you put some coconut oil in there, and I forget what else. I heard about it from somebody, and it's really good for you. But anyway, coconut oil is really good for you. You can also use it externally. A lot of women, my wife uses it on her skin. So it's really good that way to replenish, rejuvenate the skin. And sesame oil is really good in Oriental food, like Asian food, Chinese food. That's really good. That flavor, that's really good for flavor. And then you got things like lard. Lard shouldn't be a bad word. That's just animal fats. That's all it is. It's rendered down animal fat. If you raise your own animals, you can make your own rendered down animal fat. And in a survival situation, hopefully you won't be trimming the fat off your steaks and your chicken and stuff like that, because you'll need every bit of that for the energy that it provides your body. Your body needs protein, it needs fats, and it needs carbs. Those are the macronutrients that your body needs. Then you got all the micronutrients also. This is why a balanced, healthy, whole, natural food diet is important. Try to eliminate processed crap. Yes, you do see some processed crap in here. Because, here and there, we use some things. We're not perfect, but generally speaking, we eat healthy, whole, natural foods as God intended it. Fruits and vegetables from our garden. Animal from neighbors, from friends, from family, from the store sometimes. So this is very important. So these 5 items to stockpile now. Meats, grains, beans and legumes, pastas, fats and oils. Those are pretty much the essentials. Yes, I could go on. I could have made it 50 items to stockpile now. But it wouldn't change anything. You guys have brains. You guys know what you eat. You guys know what you need to stockpile. These are just 5 very important items that you probably should stockpile, because these items meet those 3 macronutrients. The proteins, which are the meats, the grains, and the beans. Then you got carbs, which is the grains and the pastas. And then you got the fats, which is the meats and the fats and oils. Some beans or legumes, I forget. Something else has a little bit of fats in it also. But anyway, the point of the video is 5 good things to stockpile now. And I'm not specific. I didn't say like, beef, wheat, pinto beans. It's you got to figure it out yourself a little bit, Stockpile what you eat though. If you don't like beans at all, then don't stockpile beans. Maybe try lentils. Lentils are one of those things that's almost the perfect prepper food, because the nutrient value, their protein matrix, everything, the way they're just, lentils are awesome. We stockpile a lot of lentils. We eat a lot of lentils. Good food. Anyway, love you guys very much. Remember that this stuff, food storage, is living insurance. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.